Hello, welcome to another video. Once in a while, I'll be asked to create a Gantt chart, and each time I would Google for Gantt chart creation software. And I would always find substandard tools or tools that were too expensive or had very limited free versions. So the last time I had to create a Gantt chart, I made it a point to finally learn a tool that would meet all my needs and that I could stick to for all my Gantt chart creation needs in the future. The tool I settled on was PlantUML. PlantUML is a diagrams as code tool where you can produce various types of diagrams using a text-based format. So from what I usually see, people use PlantUML for creating sequence diagrams. But what I'm going to show today is its support for creating Gantt charts. What I have here is IntelliJ with the PlantUML plugin. So what I've done here is I created a project that starts on the 1st of August, and I've also created two tasks, one that lasts 2 weeks and another that lasts 3 days. So now let's assign resources to work on these tasks, right? Let's assign resources to these tasks. So the first task, let's assign that to Alice. And the second task, let's assign that to Bob. Now, Alice and Bob won't be working weekends, so let's set Saturday and Sunday as off days. So let's say that Bob only has 50% capacity during this part of the project. So now you can see that the task takes twice as long. We can also assign a task to more than one person. So what you see at the bottom here is what's called the resources footbox. This tells you the resource utilization for each of your resources. So here you can see that because Alice is assigned to work on two tasks simultaneously, and they both require 100% of her effort, her utilization on the 1st of August here is 200%, which is why it's red. We can also mark days where specific resources are not available so that PlantUML knows that work is not getting done on those days. Now, if you don't like seeing this resources footbox, you can hide that. So now let's talk about task sequence. Let's say that you have task 1, task 2, and task 3, and they need to be completed one after the other. So let's show that in the Gantt chart. Now, what if we wanted both task 2 and task 3 to run in parallel after task 1 is done? So we can do that using an alternative method of showing the order of tasks, which is by using this arrow symbol. Now let's talk about scheduling constraints. Let's create a task 1 and let's create a task 2 that can only start when task 1 ends. We can also model the reverse and show a task 3 that should end when task 1 ends. We can also set a gap in the constraint. We can group tasks together using separators. Now let's create some project milestones. Milestones can be set in two ways. So let's look at the first way, which is by setting the milestone based on the completion of certain tasks. And the other way we can set milestones is by just specifying a specific date. Now let's talk about the scale of the Gantt chart. Here we are seeing the schedule on a day by day resolution. So let's zoom out and let's see the project plan week by week. Here the diagram looks cramped, so let's zoom in a bit. And now let's look at the project's plan month by month. But first, let's make sure that the project spans multiple months. So let me increase the duration of this task 4 to 7 weeks. And let's change the scale now to monthly. And here the diagram looks cramped again. So let's zoom in a bit more. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show in this video. If you're a programmer and you need a Gantt chart creation tool, I think this is a very capable tool and definitely worth learning. Let me know what you think in the comments below.